Hi there, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Um, I've been wanting to do this video, or I wanted to have this conversation with you about what is the responsibility of the host of me or uh, of Howard Stern or Joe Rogan, who are the people we're going to talk about here. And the reason I bring up Howard Stern is because this was the first time he on 9/11/2001, the way that he covered that, and again, his excuse will be that it was in the moment. But he eventually, as the day went on, became more and more extreme, more and more angry. Um, he, said some things, and I wish they've taken out down all the clips, but they or all the shows from YouTube, because I really wanted to re-listen to it, to be very specific about what he said about Muslims, or what he said about what should be done, and what the country should do, and so forth and so on. Literally talking us into a war on day one, and pretty much his audience, young, male, already in this like aggressive warrior culture that is America, you know, laid the groundwork for what the administration later would do and use to justify, a war with Iraq. Now, remember at the time, I was skeptical from the beginning, which my oldest daughter can attest to, of the whole situation. I knew, which she can also attest to, that it would be used. I guess the term is disaster capitalism, right? I didn't know that term at the time, but I knew it was going to be used for that. Howard Stern, what was his responsibility? Was it his responsibility to say, hey, listen, I don't know anything, this is tragic? Or should he go full on anti aggressive on day one, as it's happening? I believe that hosts have an obligation to know what they're talking about. So today, I was going to listen to a Joe Rogan podcast. It was today's podcast, and he had on a candidate, I believe, for something in Texas. By the way, have you noticed how I love that, and it actually makes the man human, right? How he's kind of adopted that like Texas swagger and shit. He's there's some things that he's saying that just whatever. Anyway, you gotta adopt to where you migrate to, right? Isn't that what we say to people that come to America? You gotta act like it. So I guess when you move to Texas, you gotta act like that too. Anyway, so a vast part of that of his podcast, and it's 1550, was dedicated to his concern, which is the same concerns that I share about, which I had a video on yesterday, made a comment on, about the cheering and demanding of censorship from the left, predominantly from the left. Something that was a staple of the right, as I said yesterday, in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. So I agree with that. But then, and this is something he's been doing for a minute, actually every time he talks about it. And that is when it comes to defunding the police. The way that he describes it is, it is no cops whatsoever, and, just lawlessness, and then they're going to have some long-haired pedagogues come out and talk to people and be conflict resolvers and stuff like that. And is it true that there are people advocating for that when they say defund the police? Yes, of course. Of course, you can always find somebody within any group of people, and you can take the most extreme views to discredit something that is worth debating, not ridiculing. And it kind of disappoints me that he does that. It's not his style almost on any other subject. As a stand-up comedian, obviously he ridicules a bunch of shit. But it's really not his style. And he has, for a while, or ever since this defunding the police came up, have been talking about it in the most extreme position. Instead of maybe looking at it and being fair and looking at it in the less extreme position. The position that says, you know what? Why are cops sent out? Remember the social worker that had issues with a kid, and they were on a parking lot, and the social worker got shot too, right? Well, why don't they have somebody else to call than a person with a gun that does not have doesn't have the fucking training to, in most instances, to be a police officer or a peace officer, and let alone a psychologist or psychiatrist, right? So why is that not worth debating? Or is that not a reasonable position to say, hey, you know what? We're going to take those tasks away from you so that you can go find the fucking rapists, so you can go find the people that rob people, that you could, that you can go after the pedophiles and the rapists and all of that shit. So you don't have to deal with the mentally ill. Well, how the fuck did that become a job for the police anyway? I don't understand I don't understand how the way he talks about it, because I don't actually think that if he had the conversation that I don't think he believes that cops should go out for that. The center of the defund the police are talking about, don't fucking send military equipment to a police force. If we have that much surplus military equipment that that it's necessary for us to keep our military industrial complex happy, to ship military equipment out to the local police station, maybe it cut the defense budget just a smidgen. Spend that money in a way that he talks about 1,000,000 times. Invest in the neighborhoods where there has been no hope forever. Let's defund the police. I don't understand that. When we talk to the reasonable people about defunding the police, they're talking about, why are people being shot? Or why do we have car chases for something that initiated with a broken taillight. Why is that a fine even? What do you think, they did it on purpose? You think that people are driving around with a broken taillight on purpose? Maybe there's other reasons for that. One, maybe they didn't know. Two, maybe they didn't know how to change it. Three, the money, the time to go buy it just wasn't in their 3 fucking minimum wage jobs that they have to work before they go home and cook for the children. I don't know. There's a million ways that are not, no cops, and the crime went rampant and whatever happened up in Portland and all that other kind of shit. And here's the problem. See, I absolutely do not think that there's a problem with any of the guests or anybody that talk to them. If they're, anyway, that's, the problem here is that his audience then now listens to this and believes it. Or they think that is the most popular position amongst defund the police. Is defund the police the dumbest fucking slogan for anything? Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Certainly leaves it wide open for this kind of stuff. It is just disappointing that somebody like Joe Rogan, who is open-minded and fair on damn near anything that I've seen him on, with flaws, obviously. I wish he was stronger on economics. But this thing here bothers me because the audience that he has are the people that at least have to have the right information. Then if they still don't believe that we should rethink the police and that we should do different things, then that's fair. But at least they should have better information to have their opinion on. Anyway, that was my thoughts on that. I hope you have a wonderful night or morning or whatever when you see this. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.